underway.
Great. Hello and welcome everybody to the May 10th regular town council meeting. Call it to order at 7 o'clock. So we're looking for a motion for the agenda. Councillor Barry makes the motion. Is there any additions or deletions? Councillor Rudick, would you like to have an addition where we'll talk about how the restrictions may or may not be affecting our employees?
I do have a few questions. I don't know if it's in the format of this meeting or if it should be in a format of another meeting.
Well, if you have a few questions, I think we should ask them here. So we will put it down under I don't know, maybe we'll just leave it for your report and then you can ask them then. Okay, sounds good. So we won't change the agenda here at all. Okay, all those in favor of the agenda? Carried. You're looking for a motion to carry the minutes of our last regular council meeting. Thank you, Councillor Wawa. Any errors or omissions within those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Okay, so up first is our communication and marketing manager, Jameson Brown. Take it away, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Worship and Council. I have a request for council decision. The topic pertains to the naming of the SE17 Agri-Food Industrial Park Development. The proposal is to officially name the SE17 Agri-Food Industrial Park Development Prosperity Industrial Park. The background on this is that in early 2021, Vegreville Town Council asked the public to submit name suggestions for the SE17 Agri-Food Industrial Park. Prizes for the top 3 names would be awarded, including the top prize of a 2022 one-year family aquatic facility pass valued at $795. Second prize would be $100 in chamber bucks, and third prize would be $50 in chamber bucks. 93 suggestions were submitted to council to be trimmed down to their top 5. Those top 5 were in no particular order: Harmony Industrial Park, Heritage Park, Vegreville Industrial Park, East Point Industrial Park, and Prosperity Park. The public was once again involved in the process, tasked with voting for their favorite of those 5 names. East Point Industrial Park received 42% of the public's vote, but further research revealed there is a similar development with that name in the Calgary region. To avoid potential marketing confusion with a similar development within the province, it's recommended that the park be named Prosperity Industrial Park, which finished second in the public vote with 20.7% support. Our communication strategy moving forward, upon approval, of course, would be a Facebook Live video featuring Mayor on Wednesday, May 12th, which would officially unveil the SE17 Agri-Food Industrial Park's new name. A follow-up press release would be issued, as well as a social media campaign. An official groundbreaking ceremony and unveiling of signage with the park's new name and logo in the coming weeks is also recommended. The official recommendation is that it's recommended the Town Council officially name the SE17 Agri-Food Industrial Park Development Prosperity Industrial Park. It's also recommended that both the individual who submitted Prosperity Park and the individual who submitted East Point Industrial Park each received the naming contest's top prize, while the individual who submitted Vegreville Industrial Park, which received the 3rd most votes, received the 2nd place prize of $100 in chamber bucks. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be looking for a motion for the recommendation. Councillor Waters. Any discussion? Okay, Councillor Warba.
I just wanted to say that I think we're very thankful that people took part in it, and it's really great to see a community strategy in putting the name forward. And I'm really confident with the names that came. I loved both of them, but just knowing a little bit about how the social media works, I certainly appreciate the recommendation that came in the information in regards to the East Point Industrial Park. I know what happens with our Google searches, and I know that we just wouldn't have the ability to outpush someplace like Calgary. So I appreciate very much the information that was brought in that allowed us to look at that. And I think they're both great choices, and I'm really excited moving forward.
Okay, anybody else? Councilor Rudick.
I would echo a lot of the same sentiments as Councillor Warwa, that this week is Economic Developers Association declaration that Your Worship had made. And I think in that wake, having this good news as well is a sign of what we're looking for in Vegreville. We continue to build towards the future, and that this name captures our feelings and what our beliefs are about Vegreville current and future. And we're really excited to have the engagement from the public in this manner. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to engage with the public again.
Okay, Councilor Barry.
I would definitely agree on that. My concern with the original name being that there is a name exactly the same in Calgary at this point in time would be the legal ramifications. I'm quite certain that they would attempt to tell us we can't use that name. So I think that this move, I think, corrects that. Both names were great for the park. And I thank the individuals that put forward these, all of the names, actually. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody that was involved and put their names out there. And it was pretty tough to make some decisions, but now we can generate a little bit more excitement within the community and in the business sector that we are going to be putting a name to this park, and there's going to be shovels in the ground. And I'm sure Jameson and Bob and everybody's going to get lots of exposure for this new Prosperity Park, and we'll kick the ball off and let's get it rolling. So again, thanks everybody in town that had anything to do with this and brought the names forward. So that being said, all those in favor of the recommendation? Carried 100%. Thank you all. Next up, Phil, are you taking the library board?
Yes, I am, sir. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. This is a letter from the Town of Vegreville Library Board dated April 19, 2021. Dear Mayor and Council, at the February 17, 2021 regular meeting of the Town of Vegreville Library Board, conducted all three readings to amend their bylaws and appendices as per section 37(1) of the Library Act, chapter L-11. A municipal library board, on passing a bylaw under section 36, shall forthwith forward a copy of the bylaw to the council of the municipality. The Town of Vegreville Library Board is thus forwarding a copy of this amended bylaw and asking council to file for information unless they wish to disallow the bylaw as per section 38 of the Library Act, chapter L-11. If you should require further information or wish to discuss any parts of the Town of Vegreville Library Board's bylaw, please do not hesitate to contact myself. And it's signed by Mike Cooper, the chairperson of the Town of Vegreville Library Board.
Okay, I'll take a motion to receive and file this new library bylaw. Councillor Lemko, thank you very much. Any discussion? Councillor Barry.
Just as to their last section there, as to unless we choose to disallow it, I certainly, after having read it, that there is no reason for this council to disallow it. So I definitely believe that it goes forward and we can receive and file.
Okay, Councillor Waters.
Just asking if we can have a brief overview as to any of the changes that may have been made to the bylaws.
Councillor Lemko, do you feel comfortable with giving us the highlights of the bylaw, or?
Yeah, I do. A bit of wordsmithing in the bylaw, changing of some of the definitions that we're no longer part of the library board system. I do believe the majority of the bylaw changes was in the appendix, and that's some of the fee structures changing from the last bylaw. And that would be an increase in fees of about $5 per resident. And that would be in the back of the bylaw here. I'm just trying to find it, but it was a $5 increase in membership. So very small changes. I think it was necessary to update the bylaw because it hadn't been done in 5 years or better. So that's the majority of it. There hasn't been a lot of changes.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Councilor Waters? Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, all those in favor of receiving file? Carried, thank you very much. Okay, so no financial, no board motions. So Mr. Casey, Paul Casey with the new Rotary Club bylaw.
Yes, Your Worship, this is bylaw 03/2021, and we're asking for second and third reading tonight. This bylaw 03/2021 of the town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta for the purpose of providing a loan to the Rotary Club of Vegreville pursuant to the authority of the Municipal Government Act, being Chapter M26 of the Revised Statutes of Alberta 2000 and amendments thereto. Whereas the Rotary Club of Vegreville, a nonprofit organization, has undertaken to develop a bike and skate park on 2.5 acres of the northeast portion of Block G, Plan 1825 NY. And whereas the Rotary Club of Vegreville requires additional funding to a maximum of $75,000 to develop the bike and skate park. And whereas the Rotary Club of Vegreville has approached the town of Vegreville to provide a loan to the maximum of $75,000 required to develop the bike and skate park in a timely manner. And whereas council of the town of Vegreville considers that the loan requested by the Rotary Club of Vegreville will be used for a purpose that will benefit the municipality. Now therefore the council of the town of Vegreville enacts as follows. 1, that the town of Vegreville provide a loan in the maximum amount of $75,000 to Rotary Club of Vegreville to be used for the development of a bike and skate park on the northeast portion of Block G, Plan 1825 NY, and that the rate of interest will be 0% with a repayment term being a maximum of 5 years, and 3, that the source of funding will be the town's general operating reserve.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Casey, can you tell us, after the first reading, we put this to the public, we put a notice out on this bylaw?
We did advertise for 2 weeks, and to the best of my knowledge, we received no correspondence back.
Okay, so it's just for everybody's information, there was nothing, no one way or the other. So I'll take a motion for the second reading. Councilor Warwick, thank you very much. All those in favor? Carry. I'll take a motion for unanimous consent. Don't need that? Okay. That's why it's not written down here. I thought maybe somebody had forgotten it. Wow. Okay, we'll take a motion for the third and final reading. Councilor Berry. All those in favor? Carry. Thank you very much. Well, that is the business portion of our meeting tonight. It's a very light schedule. So we're going to move on to council reports, and we're going to start with Councilor Rudick, and she has a couple of questions she would like answered from admin regarding how our staff fall into the new regulations under the COVID changes that fell into effect last night at midnight. So go ahead, Councilor Rudick.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Do you want me to do that before I do my report and just include that as part of that?
Yeah, we'll do this first.
So I want to say, first off, thank you very much to our communications efforts, sharing the information with the public. It has been a very confusing time and a challenging time for Alberta in general. So I really appreciate our effort as a community to be able to share the information with our businesses and our individuals to be able to better understand the regulations that are set out by Alberta Health. The provincial government themselves are dealing with a difficult situation, but it is increasingly difficult to differentiate between high incidence, hotspots, and otherwise affected by COVID areas. So Vegreville has made the transition from, I don't even know what to call it, regular COVID affected community in Alberta, I'll call it, to a high incidence, and sharing that information has been very valuable. But there are a lot of businesses and individuals that have had a challenging time sifting through that. I would say that now, as an employer too, we have a responsibility to follow the mandate that's laid out federally as well as provincially to provide a safe workspace for our employees. So I just wondered if we could explain to those gathered here, as well as those that might be listening, what our responsibilities are in terms of providing service to the public, protecting our employees as it pertains to following the provincial health restrictions that are laid out, as well as making sure that we're continuing to operate in a safe manner. So it's a big question, and I know that there's lots of parts to it, but I wonder if we could maybe just have a little bit of a public conversation about that in a way that respects the privacy of any of the individuals we're talking about in generalities here.
Go ahead, Cliff.
Thank you, Your Worship. The main changes that we've implemented here at for town operations are to not have public attend at our town office at all. That goes for any deliveries, courier packages as well. They can phone if it's something that has to be dealt with urgently. But as far as any payments go, there are various means to make payments, either through the website, through financial institutions, or we have a locked drop box at the front doors. Our aquatic center has closed. We have also closed all of our public offices, including well, the library was on their own anyway. The public workshop, the recycling center, the aquatic and fitness center, the arena and multiplex are closed anyway due to the season. The only one that will remain open is the landfill office. So we did send a communication out on that today, and that's for protection, not only for the public, but for our staff as well. So.
Okay, follow-up question, or?
I guess we'll continue with the method that we share with the public using our various channels of communication, which has been very appreciated, again, by the public. I will say that there have been compliments that I've heard from both individuals and businesses that appreciate that accurate feed of information, which has been a challenge. So if there are changes in our operations, so as it stands right now, I mean, my understanding is that provincial guidelines are that those that should be working from home, if at all possible. And I know that there are some operations that performed by the town. For example, we have a variety of different workplaces, as you just highlighted, that we would update the staff as well as the public as need be through our various channels of communication. Is that correct?
We are working on that on the operations end, but as far as the public goes, it should be seamless. They should not notice any disruption in the service. We will, and we have, and currently are, looking at the staffing arrangements here, not only in the office, but for our operations as well. Okay. And we will continue, as there are changes, to update the public as we have been today.
Okay, there you have it. I want to thank all counselors that were putting up as much information as they could over the last couple of days. I know we were trying to source information from everywhere, and Jameson was helping us along here in our MLA's office, was giving us a little bit of clarity one way or the other. So, you know, I hope that we did our best, and the businesses that were affected by the numbers going up, I could see that they were trying to push as much business through as they could by Sunday night. So it was all good. So, okay, Councillor Riddick, go ahead with your councillor report.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. So April 28th, we had an IDP committee meeting, and maybe I'll allow you to update some of those details. And some of the other meetings that I had on April 28th, an FCM, it's Election Readiness Working Group. It pertains to forwarding the concerns and the wishes that municipalities have regarding budget and what that looks like moving forward. Because of course, federally, there are a lot of implications by the decisions that were put forward in the budget, some of them positive, and it seems likely that a federal election will be coming forward. So continue to work with all major parties and make sure that the concerns of municipalities get represented there. April 30th, we had a healthcare aid check-in meeting. And I just want to draw attention to an online information meeting on Wednesday this week for healthcare aid interested parties. So I'll share some of that information, as will Councillor Waters, I'm sure, to make sure that we continue to have good registration moving forward. And we had legislative committee meeting on the 4th. I tuned into the City of Edmonton Mayor Iveson's State of the City address on May 5th, and interested to see the cooperation of all of the cities in the Metro Edmonton area, so that they've changed some of their economic development focuses so that they work together. And I would say that they maybe have learned the practice from smaller communities that have had to band together. So we've worked very well as a member of the HUB, Regional Economic Development Alliance, and nice to see that some of those focuses are there in the Metro Edmonton region, and they talk about the inclusion of rural issues as well as city issues, which again makes sure that our issues sort of vicariously get carried along. So interested to see how that affects us moving forward. And tonight's council meeting, and I just want to also draw attention to the fact, again, at the top of the meeting, we talked about economic development declaration for this week. And it's also National Nursing Weekend for those nurses that continue to work in the trenches, caring for people in a variety of different settings. I just want to make sure that we thank them publicly. And that is my report.
Thank you very much. Councillor Broadjack.
Thank you, Your Worship. April 28th, I attended an IDP meeting. The town of Vegreville has many agreements with the County of Minburn. And at this meeting, this was the town of Vegreville council members on this committee that were meeting to discuss one certain agreement. On May 4th, legislative committee meeting. On May 6th, Chamber of Commerce board meeting. And that was probably one of the quickest, shortest Chamber of Commerce meetings that I've attended. I think it was 10 or 15 minutes. We did have a few farmers in the field, so time was of the essence to get them back to work. With the Chamber of Commerce, we have on May 12th, that's this Wednesday, a general meeting at noon. And if anyone was still interested in participating in that meeting, they are to contact Michelle at the Chamber office for the link to the Zoom. We also have a meeting with Minister Schweitzer, and that is we partnered with Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce. That meeting will be May 25th, and I've forwarded that link or forwarded that invitation onto all of the councillors. So any of the councillors who want to attend, again, contact Michelle at the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce also postponed their planned golf tournament to a later time this year, probably August, due to all the COVID restrictions. May 7th, I recorded the Talk of the Town and tonight's council meeting.
Thank you very much. Councillor Barry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Not a lot on my plate in the last little while. April 27th, we had a Vegreville or a corn maze meeting. I'll leave that to our chairman, Councillor Lemko. But I do want to extend appreciations to Director Phil Rowe, and would like to have him pass on to the staff that have been helping out the last few days, taking earth and filling in some of the low spots that held water last year and didn't grow corn. So they're doing a great job out there, taking, because it's dry this year, and moving earth in there and leveling out some of those areas. And I think that it will make a great improvement to the facility. So thank you to all of the staff that are participating and working out there to do that for us while they work on some of the trails. May 4th, legislative meeting, and tonight's regular council meeting, which I have to confess needs a date change because I said April 26th instead of May 10th. Thank you.
Well, glad you can find your own errors and you can correct them on your own too. You made them by yourself. So, Councilor Warwa, you're up next.
Thank you. I too have normally a light one every second, but this one is even more than usual because I only had the May 4th legislative meeting and tonight's council meeting. I just wanted to say though to Cliff, and thank you to you and your staff. I had an overabundance of contacts from a bunch of residents on questions from businesses to all the new regulations. And as we've said before, I would say that unfortunately, a lot of the provincial announcements weren't 100% clear and needed a lot of clarification. So thank you to you and your staff. Everybody got back to us quite quickly, and I think it was greatly appreciated by the residents that reached out. Thank you.
So you attended the Star Wars meeting, May the 4th. Okay. Councilor Waters.
Sorry, there I am. Okay, I too had a light agenda. April 30th, the Healthcare Aid virtual meeting for the next steps. So I'm happy to say we have 3 registered students and 1 is pending. That was April 30th. We need a minimum of 8 to carry on with the program, and I have no reservations in saying that we're going to make that target. We might even exceed it, so that is super. There will be information sessions. There's one scheduled for May, June, July, and August, as Councillor Rudick mentioned. We're going to put that up on social media, but for those that don't follow possibly Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, can go onto the Red Deer College website and enroll that way, or contact one of us directly and we can get you registered for the information sites. We have lab space available, but we will be working on a possible backup plan. Hopefully we don't need it. The pandemic will dictate if we need a backup plan. The labs will be in the hospital right now here in Vegreville, but September is still a ways away. Hopefully we'll be with a lot lesser cases of the COVID that we can continue with the original plan. There's also a posting on the Red Deer College website for instructors, and that'll be shared on social media as well. So it would be fantastic if we can have some local instructors training some of our local talents. So take a look at that. And again, if you don't see us on social media, do contact the Red Deer College website directly. That's it for that one. And then the May 4th legislative meeting and tonight's meeting.
Okay, Councilor Waters, is there any input or involvement with any of the local seniors' homes or facilities? Are they supplying any information, or are they on board with this? I mean, or is it just the town and that's driving this? Like, where are we going with the health aid program?
It's the Vegreville Region Physician Attraction Retention Committee that is the driving force of bringing this here. So with the lab space and stuff, I think we're utilizing, the Mundare facilities, as they have a little more flexibility for us. And it's very difficult getting in from lab to lab. We need to keep it more centralized so everybody has the one place to go. It's all set up, it's all there. There's a lot involved: beds, IVs, resuscitation dummies, that kind of stuff. So are you asking if there's information sent out to the other facilities for enrollment?
I'm just wondering, because hopefully they'll be looking for people. Are they involved? I mean, we're trying to facilitate a course to help these businesses out. Or are they involved at all, is what I'd really like to know.
If they want to be involved, they can contact us for sure in an instruction role. I see Councillor Rudick may have a little more information. I don't think the direct involvement is there though.
Not from the employers, but if you're asking if Covenant Health and Alberta Health Services are actively involved, yes. So the area manager who manages and oversees all private and public sites, as well as the Covenant Health site manager, who is responsible for both St. Joseph's as well as St. Mary Immaculate in Mundare. They are both involved, and they are actively the ones that are doing all the planning. So there's two parts to this, as Councillor Waters captured, is that it's important for the region in terms of providing quality employment, but it's also important for the region for being able to provide quality healthcare to our residents, current and future, that will be living in these homes. So yes, there is definitely a partnership, and they are the ones that are driving a lot of the details, and we're just there as facilitators.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Lemko.
Yes, Your Worship. I too have a light schedule. April 27th, I attended the Corn Maze Committee meeting. Just a little update. We're hoping to have the corn planted here mid-May. So once the cedar comes, the donated cedar, and they'll plant the corn, and they will mark out the path, and we'll have a corn maze. The beauty is that we're excited. We have lots of thoughts going in, surprises. We just hope that COVID is over by then, and we'll put on a show for the community that will be better than last year. We're excited. We have Maisie's been selected, so she's gone to she or he. I call her she because the name, but the mascot has been ordered, so we're looking forward to that. And things are the themes. 5 weekends, themed weekends, were things for kids to do. It's going to be an exciting time. We're excited as a committee. And thanks again, Phil, for filling those low spots. You may have corn taller than my beautiful bride. So in saying that, I'm in trouble now. May 4th, Ledge meeting. On the 6th of May, I attended the Library Board Policy Committee meeting, which I'm a member of, Policy Committee. And some of the policies we're going over date back to 2008. So we're rewording them, making them current. And that project hopefully should be done within this year. It's a painstaking process. There's lots of policies, and it's to get it right. So, and to bring it for the board. And tonight's council meeting. And I want to say, the community is, it's nice to see the amount of construction that's taking place. There are people working and they're working safely. I notice a lot of people they're practicing the restrictions, they're practicing the masks and that kind of stuff in the community. So, and again, it's nice to see as busy as we are, which is a sign of the future for this community. That's my report, sir.
Thank you very much. So myself, I've been fairly busy. On the 28th of April, I was in on the IDP committee meeting with Councillor Riddick and Councillor Brajak, and we're just discussing some moving forward with some agreements that we have with the county, and hopefully that we'll get those settled here very quickly, the one we're talking about. On the 29th, on the 27th, the 28th, I also had a board meeting with the John S. Patuqua Water Commission. It was our audited financials that had to be in before the 30th. So that went fairly good. I had a meeting on the 29th with Cliff and Phil regarding the walking trails, the future and the parks master plan and stuff and where we're going. So we've all seen a few of the things that have come out of that meeting. So again, thanks for the work put in there. And I think this community, when this master plan is out and we get a little bit more input, I think we'll have a real solid plan for the future. So, Star Wars Day, I was at the Ledge meeting. On the 5th, our communication manager lined up 3 different proclamations for me. He called it Proclamation Pandemonium is how he filled my calendar. And it was nice that they've got everybody to come in, all the groups, and it went very well. So I appreciate that. On the 7th, I did Talk of the Town with Councillor Brajak, and I listened to it today, and I thought it was very well. And then I guess we all did Mother's Day, and I hope everybody had an enjoyable day. I've seen a lot of your posts on Facebooks and stuff. Some nice stuff. So, and tonight's council meeting. So that's what I have. And we have no closed session items for tonight. So it's a very quick meeting. Is there anything anybody would like to bring up before we call this meeting an end to it here? Well, thank you all for what you do. Thanks everybody for those looking in on YouTube. I will now adjourn the meeting at 7:34. Can you believe that? Wow.